Hello and welcome to another edition of Pendragon Poetry. We're now in my bookshop. This is it. This is my bookshop. There, and this is my poetry section. So these are the ones that have no pen marks in and shit that I can actually sell. I really don't want to sell any of them, but you know, I need to have a poetry section. So let's see what I've got in here and have a little read of some shit. Right, the cantos of Ezra Pound. Like, I really don't like this poem, but he's wrote so much of it. And it's, you know, it's like you've got T.S. Eliot, the other, you know, he's sort of writing, you know, like free verse. Ezra Pound is massive into it. But the cantos is just like pages and pages of just like nonsense. So let's just read one at random. LXXVI 76 years bomb. And the sun high over horizon, hidden in cloud bank, lit saffron the cloud ridge. Dove sta memora? Will, said the Signora Agresti, break his political but not economic system. And he was a fascist. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ezra Pound. E. Houseman, a Shropshire lad. Now this was like it sort of self-published. It's like ballads. Self-published them, and they are, you know, they're absolutely massive. They went on to sell loads of stuff. There's quite good ones in there. It's sort of like about guards going off to war and stuff. And 1887. From Clee to heaven the beacon burns. From the shires have seen it plain. From north and south the sign returns, and beacons burn again. Look left, look right, the hills are bright, the dales are light between. From north and south. Oh, footnote. Because 'tis 50 years tonight that God had saved the Queen. Now when the flame... You get the idea. I'm not going to read the whole poems, but we're just going to have a little browse to what's on in my book. Selected poems, Gwendolyn Brooks. He's American. I think he's black, yeah. He's got some good stuff in here. I think he was like, was he not one of the Harlem poets? Oh no, 1950. Pulitzer Prize in 1950. I think he was slightly later than the Harlem. Oh, it's a woman. Gwendolyn's a female name. I never knew. Of course it is. So, in honour of David Anderson Brooks, my father, a dryness is upon the house. My father loved and tended. Beyond his firm and sculptured door, his light and lease have ended. He walks the valleys now, replies to sun and wind forever. No more the cramping chambers chill, no more the hindering fever. Now out upon the wide, clean air, my father's soul revives, all innocent of self-interest and the fear that strikes and strives. He who was goodness, gentleness and dignity is free, translates to public love or private charity. Quite a weak fourth stanza that, but the rest of it was quite good. I never read that before. Dante's Paradiso. This is good. I mean, let's just read some in the original Italian. Canto 10. Well, I'll do some discussions about the Divine Comedy. I'm quite into it. I'm studying a bit about Dante at the moment. Guardando nel suo figlio con l'amore che l'uno e l'altro eternamente spira, lo primo ed ineffabile valore, quanto per mente e per loco si gira, con tanto di fe, che se non puote, senza gustar di lui chi ci rimira. Leva dunque il lettore all'altro ruote, meco l'ha visto, dritto a quelle parti dove l'un moto e l'altro si percuote. The Italian's not too bad. That translates as, looking on his son with a love which the one and the other eternally breathe forth, the primal and ineffable power made with such order all that revolves in mind or space that he who contemplates it cannot but taste of him. Lift up thine eyes with me then, reader, to the lofty wheels, directing them on that part where the one motion strikes the other. Do you know what I mean? Sounds better in the English, actually. That's beautiful. I shall be ripping that off for something of my own, I think. That's what poetry's all about, you know. You read, you get absorb it, you regurgitate it, and something else. We'll do one more for this little selection. As the year progresses, I'm going to start doing like proper lectures and talking about stuff, but you know, I'm just settling into this new world at the moment. Iron, books, poetry. I'm in the middle of writing Manchester, which is going to be A, a play, but B, also an epic poem at the same time, because the Iliad was the same. The Iliad was a play originally, so that's what I'm doing. Right, Mary Queen of Scots, an anthology of poetry. Mary Queen of Scots. What is that? Is it? Mary was fond of poetry and poets and was surrounded by poetry all her life, writing modest verses herself. Her ancestor James I and her father James V both wrote poetry, as did her second husband Lord Darnley, who wrote... So it's just different poets writing. Okay, let's do a... Oh, but that's really unpenetrative Scots. I'll give it a go anyway. No, there's no point, because he's worse than Italian. Here's my... Okay, Joachim de Bellay. He's French. Translated by Jonathan Griffin, because Mary Queen of Scots was married to the Dauphin, if you remember as a kid. It went out with a... It came in with a lass, it went out with a lass. That's what James the Sixth... No, not James VI, James V said on his deathbed as he told his Mary Queen of Scots was being born. And then her son became James VI, you know, and that's how she got killed by Elizabeth, but he never did. Anyway, blah blah. To the Queen of Scotland, not without purpose did heaven set in you beauties of spirit and beauty of face, so much royal honour and royal grace, and even more is promised as you do. The rest of it's terrible, but it's on sale in a bookshop. Woohoo! So there we go. We're off. 2022. The big regurgitation, the big sort of reassembling of my atoms in my library has occurred on the island of Arran, and this is when Bookshop is. So, happy days.